Well, next, a man who is changing your life. Multi-billionaire Bill Gates, the king of computer software. What makes him tick and what exciting new products will he be bringing you soon? Take a ride with Bill Gates and me when we come back.
The richest man alive has plans for you. Futuristic gadgets, phenomenal games. They're coming soon from the king of computer software. Barbara Walters with Bill Gates when 2020 Friday continues. After this from our ABC stations. From ABC News, 2020 continues. Once again, Barbara Walters.
He's been called an evil genius, a devil, and a nerd. But the one name that Bill Gates can't argue with is the richest man in the world. His computer software company, Microsoft, has earned him a personal fortune worth nearly $40 billion. Not bad for a college dropout. Bill Gates rarely does interviews, but tonight he talks about it all: his marriage, his money, his battle with the government, and you'll see some of his amazing innovations that may change our lives soon.
Your 2 o'clock meeting with Nathan has been canceled.
You can browse information while you're in your car.
Bill Gates, at 42, is like a kid with a new toy. This is a prototype of his Auto PC, a mobile personal computer set for production later this year. It will read email, supply road directions, and dial telephone calls.
Dial.
The Auto PC is just one of dozens of computer products under final review by one of the most fertile minds in the world. Bill Gates was an A student in high school without trying, during one semester without even going to math class, and he can write with both hands. He got intrigued with computers in junior high and got so involved with them that he dropped out of Harvard to work with his childhood friend, Paul Allen, on developing software for the first generation of personal computers. They developed like Topsy and founded a business that would become the world standard of software, Microsoft. Gates owns 20% of Microsoft, his holdings in the company alone worth more than $38 billion. He is, by any yardstick, the richest man in the world. His company is under attack by the Justice Department, which accuses Microsoft of trying to stifle competition. The company's Windows operating system is installed in more than 90% of the world's computers, and what Bill Gates sees as continuing innovation, the government sees as a dangerous monopoly. For years, Gates was one of the world's most eligible bachelors. In 1994, he took himself off that list by marrying Melinda French, then a Microsoft executive. The couple have an 18-month-old daughter and have just moved into a waterfront mansion just outside of Seattle, estimated to cost $40 million. Gates started the project before his marriage, and the house is full of high-tech features. Gates wouldn't show us that house. He's determined to keep cameras out. But he did invite us to his family's vacation compound on the shore of Hood Canal in Washington State. Aside from family visits, this is where Gates comes twice a year all by himself. He calls those days Think Weeks, where he is alone with books, work-related reading, and new products. There is a rustic air to the Hood Canal property, the kind of place where computer gear almost seems out of place. Okay, look ahead 20 years. What are we going to have?
Well, 20 years.
This is talking to me and saying, wake
That's
up,
true.
wake up.
It noticed that there was an appointment. Let me turn it off. 20 years is a long time in the technology business. We're already working on computers that you can talk to and that'll talk back to you. And so you'll just use normal speech and be able to interact. So it'll notice who's using it. It'll even be able to tell what mood you're in.
Well, what good is that?
Well, it can see how you react. If you're really surprised about something, then it will give you more information. If you seem to be bored, then it'll compress that and go on and show you something else. So in the same way as when you interact with another human, your expressions, your tone of voice are a key part of how you communicate. The computer will be able to understand all of that and therefore be a lot easier to work with than it is right now.
We're in a beautiful home that's your getaway or your gateway home. The home that you've built that so much has been written about, you want to keep private, that $40 million huge home where you supposedly wear a pin and you walk through rooms and your favorite music comes up and your favorite art comes up. Okay, you're in it. I want to hear what happened the first night you were there. Did everything work, or you pressed the button and nothing happened?
It wasn't the first night, but I think the third or fourth night where I brought up a big screen in my bedroom, and for some reason the system stopped working, and it was just sitting there shining. And I wanted to go to sleep, and so finally I had to get a blanket and put it over the screen, and I still couldn't sleep very well that night. And finally in the morning I figured out what was going wrong. So even turning on the lights still isn't perfect, but I think in the next few months I'll get it all working.
I wish I had a camera when you couldn't turn off the computers and you had to put the blanket over the TV. You have for years, ever since you were a little boy, I hear, been called a nerd. Do you care? Does it hurt you?
Well, nerd means a lot of things. I'm somebody who can sit and read a book about science for hours on end, and I don't mind being labeled as somebody who finds that interesting.
In your early days at Harvard, with your friend Paul Allen, you began to write what became the first recipe for software. And you worked for 5 weeks making this basic program back in 1975. Close your eyes, or keep them open, but put your mind back there and tell me what that time was like.
It was very intense. Paul and I had talked about how these inexpensive computers could change the world. And we wanted to provide the software. And so we decided to hurry up and get a product done, to be the first. And so we worked day and night. It was a lot of fun.
Did you sleep?
Well, we'd fall asleep on the terminal sometimes, but we were totally focused on getting this done. We even wrote down that we wanted there to be a computer on every desk and in every home.
In 1975?
That's right. Even today, when I look back on it, what we got done in that 5-week period, I can't believe how intense that was.
Cloning. How do you feel about cloning? Would you want to be cloned? Imagine 14 years from now, there could be a 14-year-old Bill Gates. Just think of what it would mean to Microsoft, all those new ideas.
Well, I think cloning is a bad thing, and they'll pass regulations that prevent any of that being done on humans in any way.
You, Bill Gates, would not want to be cloned?
No.
Not only does Bill Gates not believe in cloning, he thinks there are limits even to science. He sees a future rich with smart computers and with artificial intelligence, but says that although computers can do a lot, they will never have a soul. Do you believe in God?
I was raised religiously, and my wife and I definitely believe in raising our kids religiously. I'm a big believer in religious values. As far as the deep questions about God, it's not something that I think I personally have the answers.
You are the richest man in the world. What is that like? What does that even feel like? I hear you drive your own car and you're very relaxed, but you're the richest man in the world.
Well, it's exciting to have been part of something that has been successful. I will have the privilege and responsibility of taking that wealth and giving it away in a way that helps out people who haven't had the same opportunities. I don't believe in passing on major wealth to children, and therefore everything that I'm earning is going to go towards the causes that I think can help out. One of the visions I'm very excited about is this idea that anyone in America can go into their local public library and not only have the books that are there, but also have a personal computer connected up to the internet and have all the information that even the richest kid is being able to get through that same capability.
Gates has put his money where his idea is. He and Melinda Gates have set up a $200 million foundation to put computers into libraries that serve underprivileged neighborhoods. In places as varied as Washington, D.C. and Gadsden, Alabama, kids whose meals come from food stamps will be on educational diets enriched by the internet. But Gates's potential for charity is mind-boggling. He could give away $37 billion and still be a billionaire. Now, you could improve the quality of life in any third world country. You could take care of any poor child in this country. You could do any. Are you going to take that fortune in the near future and give it away?
Well, at age 42, I've given, at this point, a little over $500 million to two foundations that are doing some things I really believe in. And in giving money, you have to be as careful as you are in making money. You want to make sure it goes to good causes. And so if you just spend it in an unthinking way, it can be gone in a second.
Well, Ted Turner, who pledged $1 billion to the United Nations, you know what he has said. He's criticized you for not giving more now. He says, what good is wealth sitting in a bank? In other words, why not help the world now? I mean, why keep saying somewhere down the line?
Well, I think Ted's great, and I'm very glad he's given that $1 billion. Certainly my giving will be in the same league as Ted's and beyond. But I don't want to set any artificial milestones. During my lifetime, the money will be given away. I believe I have quite a few years left in my life.
Bill, I read a very interesting profile of you in Time magazine a little while back. One of the things that was written about you is that you don't really care about the emotional or personal side of people, that you are very interested in the intellectual capacity, but not very much in personal relationships.
Well, I think that's a very unfair comment. It was actually a comment from somebody who'd never met me. My priority in life is my family. I always knew I'd get married and have children. You know, family life is all about emotion and sharing things and doing things with each other.
Tell me about your wife. There were many women that you knew could have married anyone.
The simplest thing to say about Melinda is I fell deeply in love with her and decided to get married and have a family together.
You want to have more children?
We'll have more children, probably a couple more.
Okay, which brings me to Jennifer. Are you gaga over this child?
Absolutely. I think she's the neatest kid who ever lived. I love going home and playing with her. I love seeing her learn new things every day. She's just amazing.
You and your wife take singing lessons, did I hear?
We did take singing lessons. That was a fun thing that we did together.
Do you sing lullabies to Jennifer?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, here's her first. Sing me a lullaby that you would sing to Jennifer.
But her favorite song right now is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
Can I hear Twinkle,
okay.
Twinkle, Little Star?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
I think that's enough.
Okay.
Whole new career there. Well, from the twinkling little stars to the world of the future, wait till you see what Bill Gates is dreaming up now. And why is the government on his back? He'll give you his take and more. And Barbara continues with Bill Gates after this. Bill Gates was ahead of the pack, barely out of his teens, when he first developed his computer software more than 20 years ago. And he's working hard to stay on top. As Barbara continues, you'll hear about his current battle, Bill Gates versus the government. And you'll take a trip into the future, the near future. What's Bill Gates up to now?
The beauty of motion, of form, captured by sensors and cables and imaging software into bytes and bits. It's a continuing project at Microsoft that helps study human motion while translating it into cold cash. The real mechanic wrestling with this real wheel is captured in this laboratory and electronically morphed into this video game. It's called Precision Racing and is a Microsoft bestseller.
Should have right to Bill Gates.
In another
right
building
now.
of the sprawling Microsoft campus, other researchers work with speech recognition software. This man spends his days training computers to see and to respond to his moves. It may take years for his work to result in a product, but Microsoft has a proven track record of getting projects out of the laboratory and into the stores.
And we win the game.
This is a product that's just come out now, and it's the first step of the TV and the computer coming together so that you won't just watch TV, you'll be able to get information at the same time you have a show.
So you mean I'll see it on my screen, but at the same time I can find out everything I want just by using my...
Yeah, as you're watching, you can go and see related information out on the internet.
Microsoft's focus on the Internet is what brought on a Justice Department lawsuit last October. The government said that Microsoft was requiring computer manufacturers to package the company's Internet browser, called Internet Explorer, with its Windows 95 operating systems. Microsoft came dangerously close to being fined $1 million a day for violating a judge's order before trial. But that controversy was settled last week. The lawsuit is still underway, though. The government claims that Microsoft is trying to use its overwhelming dominance in computer operating systems to compete unfairly in the browser market. The government sees it as a monopoly. Bill Gates argues that the lawsuit is a threat to future innovation.
What the government's saying is that we shouldn't put as many features into our products. The question is, are we allowed to put new features in for users, or does the government have a regulatory role in blocking that? It's like telling somebody they can't buy a car. They've got to go out and buy the motor. They've got to go out and buy the tires. They've got to go out and buy the radio. We'd never have the personal computer market today if that's how we had to do things.
It said that the reason that you want to control the browser is so that Microsoft controls the Internet. You can then have your travel agency, your gambling, your selling of cars, your news service, your everything. Microsoft will control the Internet.
Well, this is a great example where competitive rhetoric has gone so far that it's actually saying the opposite of the truth. Nothing is more open and flexible than the Internet. The number of places you can go on the Internet to get news, there are hundreds and thousands, and you get to choose. And so no one is going to control the Internet in any way, shape, or form.
Some people ask, when will it be enough? They say you have 90% of the world operating system and you want more. What's your ultimate ambition?
The thing that really drives me is building software products that can help people out. And we love the stimulation that comes with being in a business where no one has a guaranteed future. You have to earn it every year, so you're going to have to invent new things.
There is hardly a day in which something is not written about Microsoft. It has become almost a frenzy. You're being called the evil empire. You forget being called a nerd. You are now being called arrogant, greedy, the devil. You've read all this stuff. I've heard that this has been said. What do you say about all of this?
Well, it's a very competitive business. And
That's all?
Oh, no, absolutely. When you have the level of success that we've had, when you have a business that's important as this with this many competitors, you're going to have people saying some nasty things. And so you have to learn a little bit not to take it too personally.
Have you handled the matter wrongly?
In terms of what it's like to be sued by the government, I don't think anybody should have to go through that. It's a pretty awful thing. And no, I wasn't trained to have the government sue me and tell me I can't put great new things into the products. And so, you know, I'll learn, but it's not like you go through this more than once.
One of your friends told me that given your kind of mind, that in 10 years you might go in a totally different direction, that there are other things that just fascinate you. Can you see yourself doing something else?
Well, I have a lot of interests outside of work, things that I study and read about, and I enjoy that a lot. But in terms of my work, I'm a specialist. I've dedicated my life to building great software. That's what I've been doing for over 20 years. That's what I'll be doing the rest of my life.
That'll probably be a lot of years, too. I've been doing some arithmetic, and it's a $40 million house. $40 million is quite a mansion. But in proportion to his total wealth, it's as if somebody who made $40,000 a year or had $40,000 in the bank paid $40 for a house. Can you imagine that?
That's why it's so hard for us to understand $38 billion.
That's right. And that house that's pocket change to him. The press and the government have been kind of rough on him.
Very.
But what do you think is the public perception of Bill Gates?
Well, I don't know how rough the government per se is. The press has been very tough on him, and yet ABC took a poll and 60% of the country favored Microsoft over the government. 2/3 said the government should leave Microsoft alone. So the press and the public do not see the situation the same.
Interesting, too. Well, anyway, you can learn more about Bill Gates by visiting our website at abcnews.com. And we'll be right back.